Hey guys, my name is Chloe and I'm a private pilot, and today I want to tell you about my second student pilot solo back when I was earning my private pilot license. And the reason I want to tell you about this solo is because I had a panic attack in the traffic pattern for no reason. The plane was fine, the weather was fine. I was the only one in the pattern, actually. No reason other than my thoughts had become my own worst enemy. And this story really emphasizes how your thoughts, how your mind can become a flight hazard if you are not careful. So here's the story. This is what happened. So I did my first student solo on March 23rd, 2023. 3/23/23. I'll never forget it. It was awesome. I went around the pattern one time for that first solo because I had been out with my CFI for so much time that's all I had time for when he gave me my endorsement and sent me on my way. So I went around the pattern. I was so happy, so excited, so super impressed with myself. I think in some ways it was like on par with actually earning my license. But yeah, I was so excited. And then a week passed and I did my second student solo. I think what happened in that week time was that I got a little bit arrogant and I'm like, yeah, I got this flying thing, right? So I stopped really chair flying very much. I'm like, yeah, I'm Maverick, right? You know, I went around the traffic pattern once. So, so funny. So I go out to solo for the second time. And I came in with too much airspeed on. I was too fast on final, too fast on short final, and then on top of that, the nose wheel touched the ground before the mains, and I porpoised. And if you've ever porpoised before, you know how much of a weird feeling that is. It's like time is warping, like the time-space continuum feels like it's warping, and it's weird. And immediately I put full power to throttle and went around. That was what I had learned from all the Jason Shepard videos that I watched. I watched a lot of videos on porpoising. I knew that was what you had to do. And as soon as I took off again, immediately I did the statistical odds in my head where I said to myself, I've landed once as a student solo, I've successfully, and then I've tried to land a second time unsuccessfully. So now I have a 50-50 shot of putting this plane down ever. I've shown, historically that it's 50-50 for me. And that means, wow, I could be flying around this traffic pattern until I have no usable fuel left, right? That's where my mind was going. And I called up a tower, and I said, St. Augustine Tower, it's my tail number. I'm going to give a fake tail number, because I don't want anybody looking this shit up. This was really embarrassing, and these things really happen. St. Augustine Tower, November 541 Sierra Papa. I'm really sorry I have to go around. And the controller goes, it's okay, go around. And I called her back, and I said, I'm a student pilot. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to inconvenience everybody. And she said, that's okay. We see you. We have our eyes on you. And just go around. Everything's fine. So I'm on the downwind now. And I have this statistical odds thing in my head. And wondering if I'll ever be able to put this plane down. I didn't even understand until I was driving home what I had actually done wrong. So I didn't even know what I did wrong in those moments to correct it, because I was not using my regular logical thinking. I was totally in my emotions, right? And I'm on the downwind and I'm going way too fast. I was going about 120 knots. And I called and I realized I need to talk to my instructor. So I called the tower back around the midfield downwind, and I said, St. Augustine Tower, 541 Sierra Papa, it was a right midfield downwind, 3-1. Can I please talk to my instructor? I go to this school, and this is his name. I'm going to say his name is Jonathan for the video, right? Can I please talk to Jonathan? atoms. What, I don't know, whatever. And she was like, okay. So they got him on the comms when I was abeam the threshold. And I just heard him go, shh. I heard him do, it was like a lot of crackling. And he said, Chloe, whatever. And I go, Jonathan, 541 Sierra, Papa, I'm really nervous. That's what I said. And he goes, don't be nervous. Just fly the plane. And you guys, it was like a light switch in my head because I had always listened to everything he ever said. So as soon as he said, don't be nervous, fly the plane, I went, okay. I stepped out of my emotions and all of my logical thinking came back. I did all the landing stuff. 1,500 RPMs, first launch of flaps, everything. Monitoring my airspeed now. He stayed on the comms the entire time with me. He said, everything's okay. You're fine. You know what to do. Just do it. I'm with you. And I came into land. Everything was normal. And I taxied back. And when I got back to the school, I felt so embarrassed. And I honestly thought he was going to tell me you're not a good pilot. You probably shouldn't be doing this. Maybe you should do something else with your life or whatever. And no, he didn't say none of that. He said, this was a learning experience. You're okay. The plane is okay. Everything is okay. And we'll just, we'll learn from this. And he I'm going to cry because he always believed in me from the day he met me, and I was freaking out about stalls, and he always believed in me, and he believed in me that day. Even I could not believe it. I honestly thought when I was walking back into school that was it. It was going to be one of those conversations that's awful but honest, and that would be the end of my trying to be a pilot. But nope. I made an appointment for my next lesson, and we went around the pattern a whole bunch more, and probably 2 more lessons, honestly, before he was like, are you okay? You want to solo? And I was like, I don't want to, but I'm going to, and he agreed. So I went out again, and eventually I ended up with more solo time than you need for a private pilot license because I really, really, really wanted to get over myself and my fears and all the things that were holding me back. So I think I ended up with about 15.9 solo hours. You only need 10 for a private pilot license. But yeah, this story is one of those your mind can be your own worst enemy. And it seems in hindsight kind of ridiculous. I mean, I have so many hours at this point. I still have, as of today, I have 131.7 hours, but I have experience now and a lot more than I did that day for sure. And going around the pattern is boring to me now, but I have to remember that it had to somehow become boring. And it was that experience, among others, some wonderful, some not as wonderful. I had the door open on me on my 4th solo. That was not fun, but I actually handled that very well. But yeah, it took experiences like that to get to the point of being bored in the pattern, for example, and wanting there to be 6 people in the pattern and do a couple 360s and extend your downwind and just, to have a more interesting pattern because if I do pattern work and it's really boring, I do start to get bored. But yeah, as a student, there's nothing boring. Everything is very real and very serious. And yeah, that experience. You know what's crazy, guys, and then I'll let you go, is that that interchange on the comms became a thing at the airport. And I think I've told you guys before, I work at the airport as well. And I actually had somebody come up to me recently and was like, are you that girl that was on the comms that day and she had to get her instructor and you were in a warrior and he told you not to be nervous? I'm like, oh my God, please. I'll never get over it. I'll never live it down. Oh my God. Yeah. Airports run on gossip, guys. Airports run on stories and gossip, and but it's all good. We're all learning, right? So let me know if you had any stories like that from like the one I just told you from your private pilot days, and what you learned from them. And yeah, definitely write your stuff in the comments below. I love reading your comments, and I will talk to you all soon. Okay, bye.